welcome to episode number 38 of Move by Move series, where I'm playing rapid games against opponents of the same level, explaining you my thinking process and of course just trying to play good chess. Let's find our opponent for today's episode. It's usually tough to find. Oh, and immediately we're playing CN, Candidate Master, from Colombia, Albert Hernandez. He plays c5. Let's go knight f3. Knight c6, bishop b5. We're going for Salimo and g6. g6 is played. Bishop c6 is what I play most of the time. B takes c6. Now there are multiple approaches. One of them is d3 to play very solid, and one of them is d4. I haven't checked this line, previously, but I know some ideas. I think queen d4 is extremely good move, and knight f6. I think f5. And then the idea is basically to push a6 takes. I don't remember what should I play here. Maybe I should play 5. But once again, it's a bit complicated to remember. Maybe knight c3 is best. But, something tells me that f5 is best. Goes this way. The idea right now is obviously to take on f5 and to play queen a5. Let's play bishop f4. The point is takes bishop e5 and then maybe he can just play knight f6. Maybe I have to check what I'm playing here, because yeah, knight f6 now is pretty straightforward, and then d6 is coming. Maybe yes, I did something. Oh, and now he goes knight f6. I honestly expected knight f6 first, because I kind of don't like that. Okay, let's go long castle. And the point now, rook is coming to e1, and I'm trying to attack e7 pawn. And if he ever to play 6, he goes d6, which is not a bad move. I play queen e2, and now e5. I believe there is queen c4, and I take on c6. So queen c4, by the way, is the check that is now being threatened. So he has to be careful. He goes this way. What if I play rook e1, attacking the e7 pawn, bishop f3? I might even consider taking g takes f3. Because he has, if I take on e7, d6 pawn is a weakness, and then c pawn becomes a weakness. He goes this way, and now I want to play something like queen c4. At the same time, I also maybe just want to play h3. And then if he takes, I take. And maybe I should consider taking g takes f3 once again. But I think for now, I'll attack this way. So d5 is probably kind of needs to be considered, and then I play maybe queen e2 back. This move, pretty interesting. What if I play queen e4 takes? This move seems more like a bit better, Knight c3 now takes, rook f2. And then queen c6. And the thing is, if rook c8 is played and it looks like yes, some attacks, you might actually play rook c2. And then I take on rook c8. That's one of the options for him right now. And then I have to think whether I take with my queen or I take with, let's say, something else. But yes, rook c2 is definitely a consideration for him. Rook c8. That's what I'm thinking, but queen d5, and I thought I'm fine, because now in f8, I believe I even have rook f1. Looks a bit wild. Maybe I don't have it, but yes, we'll think of it. But yeah, rook c2 now should be a good move. And then rook c8, and I'll have 2 rooks, 4 queen, and he will have 1 extra pawn. And yeah, he plays this move. Maybe he should have played rook c2, but now I'll play c3 at some point. Goes this way, and what if I play rook f1? Rook f1, like it looks good, honestly. Rook f1, and if queen e8 or queen f8, I play queen e6. And now the point is I'm threatening this one, right? And my next move is probably rook e1. And then we'll start thinking. Yeah, goes this way. Rook e1 probably gotta be a good move. Because now once again cannot take rook f5, I'll just take. And now the idea is to play rook f7 and queen s7. And I'll be up a pawn in the rook endgame, which I might be able to win. Again, super complicated. Do I have g4? Takes, king g7. Like, I don't think I have it, but what if rook f5? Like, the point is, it's extremely hard to do anything here. Takes. Oh, I found one idea though. Takes, and now takes. Now rook e3. Now the point is I want to bring my rook to g3. But another thing is I want to bring my rook to c3, and this will be a disaster. So I'm actually not sure how he protects from rook c3 and rook c8. Because king h8. Oh, he goes this way, but what if I go this way now? And rook c8 is coming? I think it was a mistake on his end. I don't see a way to protect from rook c8 now. King g7, rook c8, and the queen is trapped on the 8th rank. And there's not much that he can do. At least I don't see a lot of stuff here. Looks like a win, because my rook is just too active and he's just too passive, trying to get rid of the spin. I mean, there is no way. Rook c8 is coming. He probably should have played in h8 one move early, and then that's what, queen g4. That's a good defense by him. Good defensive resource. So I have right now queen g4, but rook g6. And if I play rook f8, rook g4, takes, this will probably be lost. Yeah, that's a good resource. If I play queen d7, he goes queen f7, and then I play queen d8. The only problem I see with this maneuver is I have also rook e8, rook e6, but he might go for counterattack. So the easiest right now looks rook f8, rook f4. And then I'm basically trying to win this endgame, which I don't think is winnable, but once again, you never know. Like, I have to create pass pawn. Yeah, I guess we'll play for a while here. It's tough. Like, as you see, he found... Yeah, I thought maybe I missed something. Like, I probably missed something, because he definitely had some chances. But now c4 b4 is probably the crucial idea. Now the thing is, the king is fully cut off from that side of the board, so we gotta use this side to just create pass pawn and try to win. Let's go king c3. Yeah, now potentially this pawn is dangerous. Maybe I should have gone this way. But now the point is I want to go a3 and then b4. Let's go this way. e2, rook e2. So e4 right now cannot be played. And now, what if I played this? What if I played g4 though? What if I play rook d2, rook c2 maybe? Yeah, it's a bit complicated here. Rook d2 maybe. Just kind of keep an eye on this, because I'm afraid I wanted to play g4 first, but then I'm like, okay, maybe not. Now king f6, I take, and then I come back. And yeah, I just gotta play rook c2 and then trying to push as far as I possibly can, and then I potentially can give up this rook for the pawn rook c2. Takes. He won't take. He'll go rook d1 probably. That's his only chance. But now I play c5, and now I play c6. Like, now it's whoever comes first. This king a4, and then king b5. This rook c3, Maybe c7 or something. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I'm just a bit scared. What if I take c7? Like, this has to be winning though. I have to take. Or am I winning? Wait. It has to be. I mean, c8 promotes king g2 before this takes d5. I mean, it's a win. Oh, let's go. Let's go. It's another win. Yeah, that was a good one. And now I can just basically capture, and then my pawn moves, and it's a win. Let's freaking go. 56 move. What a win. But now I really want to take a look at the analysis. So stay tuned, analysis is coming. Let's go. Hey guys, don't want to take a lot of your time. Let's quickly scroll through the game. So yes, c5, as it's as I said during the game, probably is a slight mistake. He had queen b6, he played bishop g7, which is the main move as well. Suddenly I realized that, let's say if I play knight c3 now, or let's say some bishop e3, he can just take and then queen a5, and suddenly I'm in trouble. So bishop f4 takes, knight f6 is what I actually thought during the game. Like, you gotta play knight f6, and then I thought I have a lot of problems because d6 is coming, then knight potentially jumps everywhere. Like, it's gonna be tough. Instead, he plays surprising bishop e5, but now I'm actually better. Knight f6, knight c3, castle, queen e2, rook e1. Mistake, computer says queen c4, and then take the pawn on c6, but I didn't even want to take an open c file for him, because then some center pushes and opening of c file might get me in trouble. But nevertheless, queen c4 was best. Rook e1 attacked the pawn, rook f7, and this rook, as it turned out, played a crucial role. Bishop f3, queen f3, knight d5, king d3 takes, rook f2, queen c6, and as I said, rook c2 here would have been the best move. And the point is, if queen c2, there is rook c8, and if king c2, rook c8 again, and you're exploiting the pin on c file, and I thought, yes, I have two rooks, but he has this wild two pass pawns in the middle, which probably would have won him a game. You never know, but he probably would have gone like a lot better. But now king d5, and now suddenly it turns out that I'm actually not winning, but slightly better. Rook c5, rook e1, rook f5 was a mistake, and now rook e3 is surprisingly to me slight mistake. Rook f1 according to the computer is slightly better. But rook e3, as I said, my sole idea was to play rook c3 or rook g3 and try to get this king to the edge and play rook c3 and rook c8. And queen g7 here was the best option. I also calculated king h8, but apparently it's bad as well. I would never play a 4 move, which computer recommends as the first line. I would personally go rook c3 immediately, and then I thought that, there's queen g8, and I thought that there might be something else like rook f6. You kind of get rid of the pin, but apparently I'm still winning a pawn after rook c8. And now let's say takes, pretty much the same position that we got in our game. So 4 was played, rook c3, and I'm completely winning. Now I'm actually... queen g4. That's what I missed. And now if king goes back, rook c8. And if king goes to, let's say, h6, then rook c8. King g7 and queen h4. King g6. Oh, what a win. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't see it. But yeah, queen g4 was probably the easy win. I decided to go a different way, but rook f6, yes, good find. And now the best move was rook f8. Because now this no longer works. Rook g6 takes, and then rook f8, king f8, this is a draw. But again, like, yes, computer says it's a draw, and it probably is, but from human standpoint, you don't want to allow these 3 pawns to just march down the middle. So I calculated this, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to the pawn endgame. So rook f8. Now at least I'm up a pawn, king d2, rook f2. And yeah, now I had to create pass pawn. Rook d2 was passed, rook d6 was passed, and now rook d2. And now I'm winning pretty much every way. e3, c6, rook d8. So now there is still a room for mistake, because I think c8, rook c8, and suddenly there could be some chances, because now e2 is coming, and the best way is to play king e4. And now, yes, and I basically get my king back. But obviously I didn't look at it, so I decided to first, you know, bring my king closer, play king a5, king d3, now this takes, and c7, king d6. I was kind of lucky that, you know, he doesn't have enough time, and I am right on time. Look, h2, and here I take, promote the pawn, and win the game. 2355. That's a huge milestone. We're slowly climbing towards 2400 rapid rating. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you in the next one next week. Bye.